All right, how y'all doing tonight?
Great.
I appreciate you coming out, and I want to share something that I got emailed to me today. Most people think that life sucks, and then you die. Not me, I beg to differ. I think that life sucks, then you get cancer, then your dog dies, then your wife leaves you, the cancer grows into mission and you're doing fine. You get a new dog, you get remarried, you owe $10 million in medical bills, but you work hard for 35 years, you pay it back, and then one day you have a massive stroke. Your whole right side is paralyzed. You have to limp along the streets of life and speak out of the left side of your mouth. You drool, you go into rehabilitation, you finally regain the power to walk, you regain the power to talk, you're cancer-free, you're living the good life, you got a new wife, and then one day you step off the curb over here on Foothill Boulevard, and bang! You get hit by a big city bus. Then you die. Maybe. And that's it. So you survive. All right. I was been told that before you start to talk, you're supposed to start off with a funny joke. So I heard another joke. You want to hear it?
No.
No. Since they said no, you're going to hear it. Did you guys hear what happened on the 210 freeway the other day? You heard about that? These kids were throwing rocks off of the overpass, hitting cars, breaking their windshields, putting big dents in all these cars. And finally, this one kid tied a hammer to his wrist because he didn't want to lose his dad's hammer. So he throws it off, boom, gets hooked on the back of a truck. The truck keeps going, yanks the kid's arm off. He loses his whole arm. Oh my God, there's blood everywhere. Funny thing about that was, nothing happened to the kid legally, but they arrested the driver of the truck. Armed robbery.
That's a real low for me.
Okay, growing up, numbers that were important to me growing up, number 11 and number 17. I played sports. Number 11 was my football number, and number 17 was my baseball number. We all have our favorite numbers, right? Favorite numbers of your pro athletes. You know what happens when you graduate high school, your football number ends up being your license plate. You know, every time you go to Vegas, you play number 17 and number 11. We all do that, right? But those were my favorite numbers growing up. Over time, my favorite numbers got to change. Okay?
Page down.
Okay. Now, the numbers that really stick out to me in my life are the number 55 and the number 34. They're significant to me because at the age of 55 is when I lost my dad to cancer. And at the age of 34 was when I lost my wife to cancer. Growing up, my 11 and 17, they were happy numbers. But now the numbers that stick out to me, they aren't so happy. At the age of 55, I lost my father to colon cancer. Chris talked about how men get 1 in 5. My dad was one of those 5 people. My father was a strong man. Strong man. Invincible to me in my eyes. I've seen my dad do everything from changing diapers to coaching my sister's softball team to helping me in scouts. As a teenager, he could do no wrong. We all have a father we think is the best darn father anybody could have, and we're all right. To me and my sister, my brother, our dad was that dad. What's stronger in life than a father's love? It's nothing really except maybe a mother's love. At the age of 34, I became significant. That's the age that my wife was when we lost her to cancer. I remember the night that I proposed to her. We were on the Huntington Beach pier. I had taken her out. Actually, I was supposed to propose at dinner, but I chickened out. So we ended up walking along the beach. That was my secondary plan. But finally, I proposed to her, and she didn't say yes right away. I had got down on my knee and asked her to be my wife, and she said, "Listen, Scott, before I answer you, I don't believe in divorce, so if I say yes, you need to promise with me you're going to spend the next 80 years of my life, or of our lives together. So we're going to spend 80 years together." I'm like, "Oh, okay. And she said, "You're going to take care of me if we're rich or we're poor. You need to promise me that." These two are getting married next weekend. So I said, "Okay, I'll do that." I felt like the tables had switched and that she had proposed to me. So I finally said, "Yes, honey, I promise I'll do all that. The next 80 years of our lives we spent with each other." She finally said yes and ordered me back in the IROC. She said, "We're going home. I have calls to make." I had the night planned. I had a blanket. I was ready to make out for like an hour. That didn't happen at all. It's like, we're going home. I got to call my sister. I got to call my other sister. I got to call my aunt, my Sunday school teacher. Like, oh man. But she said yes. Cancer holds no bars. It will attack anybody it wants to. Young and old, like Chris said. She saw babies getting treated. One of the two commercials that I hate when I watch TV, besides the animal puppy shelter ones, are the ones with the little kids going through that too. And it just pains my heart when I see that, because they're so young and innocent, it shouldn't happen. But cancer, it doesn't matter. My life, am I missing? Oh, there we go. Look at this cute kid. All right. My life was basically cancer-free. I didn't know about cancer. I didn't care about cancer. I was young. I was vibrant. I was energetic. My whole family was. We're happy and happy. My parents were incredible parents. They supported my brother and sister in everything that we did, in church, in school, in Scouts, Girl Scouts, and sports. My dad, I don't know how he did it, but he would drive 50 miles a day to work, 50 miles a day back, and we would still all have a family dinner sitting at the table. It was incredible. I don't know how they did it. Without fail, every night. We prayed. We did a lot of prayer because we were church-going people. So I think maybe that helped. Over time, my brother got married. That's a handsome guy. Yeah, that was like 1978, people. So that's the light blue tuxedo. Here's my sister. She sits standing back. Over time, my brother got married. There he is, and there's my dad and mom at their wedding. My sister got married. They moved out. My dad retired. My mom, she had done a lot of babysitting growing up. She actually raised 21 kids in our lifetime. She, from toddlers all the way up till junior high, I guess is when she stopped in 21 kids. Mom and dad started their own business. Everything was going good. And then my dad had experienced pain. Went into the doctor, and for the first time in my life, like Chris said, you hear that word cancer. And it just, out of nowhere, boom. We're like, oh, man. My dad was 50 at the time. All of a sudden, life changes. You think that man you watched grow up, who was invincible, who basically was immortal to me, stuff started happening. He was the poster boy for good living. My dad never cussed. Sorry about that. Something my daughter can't say. My dad always... My dad always told me, he goes, Scott, and I'd come home loaded every now and then.
Oh.
My whole life, Scott, this is how much alcohol I drank my whole life. And me and this morning, oh Dad, I did 30 of those tonight. But my dad, I had 30 of them, yeah. That's a smart butt that I was. But, you know, my dad didn't drink, and it happened to him anyway. Didn't smoke. Like I said, cancer doesn't care who it hits. You know, my dad went through the normal treatments back then at the time. He was cut open, cancer was removed, he was sewn back up, he did chemotherapy, was cut open again, sewn back up, did radiation. And Chris mentioned the radiation burn. When my dad finally passed away, like probably 4 weeks before he died, he went in to have some radiation done. And it burned through his skin about 1.5 inches. And every night, my mom and I, we had to clean that wound. And it was deep, and it was like, I'm never gonna forget cleaning that. But treatments now, they still do that, and it was just bad. The last time they cut him open, they sewed him right back up because it was too late. I was there when my dad woke up, and he said, "What time is it?" And my mom said, "It's 11 o'clock." And I'm never gonna forget this. And my dad said, "It's too fast. It's too early." And he knew right then that it was too late, because he was supposed to be in surgery for a couple hours, and it was too early. My dad's still my superhero. You saw the picture. He was in the Army. He served in the Army, and he was just a great guy. You know, I saw my dad in a tuxedo for my brother's wedding. There he is. I saw my dad in a tuxedo for my sister's wedding. There he is again, with him and my mom. You guys see Pastor Jay there with hair on the top of his head? You know, and I was so looking forward to seeing my dad in a tuxedo for my wedding. But due to cancer, I didn't get to see that. Pastor Jay still has hair there. But I was so looking forward to that, and cancer took that from me. So I had gone 30 years of my life without experiencing cancer, and then it hit. Lost my dad, he was 55, and it's on. Anybody recognize this guy? #1 recruiter, yeah. Something happened when my dad passed away. It was a pivotal point in my life. I didn't have a father, but I got a call from a girl that I met when I was 2 weeks old. We met in the Venice Baptist Church nursery, and we became friends growing up. There was Scott, and then the twins, Bobby and Becky. So we grew up, and then when they were, the twins, when they were 6 years old, their family moved away. They moved to Orange County. This one girl, when I was 5 years old, she was 5 years old. We were in the same wedding together. And we were in the same wedding together. But we lost touch for like 20 years. When my dad passed away, I got a call from this girl, and it was Bobby. And she had heard about my dad, and she apologized. So we started talking. Back then, guys, okay, we were talking on the phone. I lived in LA.